In the gaming world, developers forged many mighty RPGs to enthrall the hearts of man. MMOs were given to the weebs, turn-based for the nerds, and Morrowind for the giga-chads. But the gamers were deceived, for in the darkness of Bethesda Studios, another game was created. Todd Howard the Deceiver poured his power into a new creation, one RPG to rule them all, and bind all future releases to its formula. Skyrim. Yes, Skyrim. It is quite possibly my favorite video game, and even with Todd dangling an Oblivion remake in front of us, gamers everywhere still search endlessly for something that can emulate the experience of first playing Skyrim. And today, we might be playing that next game. This is Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon, an indie RPG with grand scale that has just released its final update before launch later this year. Every single news outlet appears to be billing this as the next Skyrim, but I think it's safe to describe this game as the meme equivalent of asking your mum for Skyrim and her saying we already have Skyrim at home. There definitely are a lot of similarities. It's got RPG combat, bandits, magic, and a chosen one questline. But does that truly make a Skyrim-like game actually like Skyrim? No. For me, it doesn't. What makes Skyrim special is that Bethesda jank. I want a game with bugs, crashes, and broken overpowered systems that destroy the game's balance. So I thought it would be good to push this game to its extreme and find a bunch of exploits, to help the developers before launch. That's definitely why we're doing this, right guys? Look, I'm moral. And along the way, we'll be discovering if this is Skyrim at home, or maybe, just maybe, it's even better. So grab yourselves a nice warm cup of Yorkshire tea, prep your comments about how Oblivion is actually the best RPG, and let's dive into this game. Right, now first we need to make ourselves a character. We start with a gentleman in a loincloth. Woo! Be careful where it's wiggling. I did do a members only stream a few days ago where I realized that the default character kind of looks a bit like Todd Howard, so that's who we played as. But no, today we're going to do something a little bit different. The character we're going to be playing today is of course a famous and dangerous wizard. The legendary Ron Weasley. Yes, that's right, this is the son of Ronald Weasley of Harry Potter fame, a legendary wizard. Unfortunately for Juan, unlike his father, he was so terrible he was outcast from the family and forced to rename himself to Measley. But we're going to show them, aren't we, Juan? We're going to make you the most dangerous man alive. Then you'll make your father proud.
And I hope this time you'll cooperate.
Now time for another parallel to the Elder Scrolls. We of course start the game inside of a prison. That's right, we've been captured by a cult here, and they believe we're dying of the plague, which is pretty accurate because yes, we are indeed dying of the plague. One has some kind of tropical skin disorder going on at the moment, which isn't good at all. But luckily for us, we're of course going to escape. Firstly, we need to talk to the guard.
Look, we just have to get this over.
This is where we're going to be able to work out our playstyle bonuses and kind of design our starting character. We're of course Juan, the son of a great wizard, so we're going to go for all of the magical focus stuff. Bonuses to alchemy, and we'll even pick up Burning Ember here, a fire spell. Very nice indeed. Lovely stuff. Oh, and of course the guard gets shot in the head. Splendid. Now our true rescuer comes along with some lovely screen tearing going on there. Yeah, it's an early access game. Anyway, right, so this lovely gentleman here frees us from the prison, and then he's going to run off, and we need to make our way out of here. Luckily for us, we can loot the guard who had us trapped away in here and pop on his armor. But anyway, we start the game as basically a total noob. But we do have one snazzy fire spell. I mean, look at this. Waha! Isn't that cool? Now, you do get rewarded quite well for exploring around the map. For example, there's this menhir figure at the start. If we go into our inventory and actually use it, we get a permanent +5 maximum health. That's pretty nice. Alternatively, you can also just find smut on the walls. Yep, it's there. Oh, beautiful Liliana in the Chamber of Ecstasy. It's just complete smut. Oh my god. It's complete smut. He aimed his enormous battering ram. I'm not even reading that. Right, we're out of here. Well, now I can actually see off in the distance we've got our first few enemies. There's some guards over there at a table. Yes, it's a red priest. Well, luckily for me, I can prep a fireball and there we go. Do some lovely damage to him. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm immediately now basically out of magicka. Oh dear. Oh dear. Bonk. There we go. I hit him with a stick. Fireball. Yeah, now that's combat. And there we go, just like that, we've been able to defeat our first enemy. We weren't exactly that incredibly powerful, and we did almost completely run out of magicka. The problem is, as our character is designed in a way that basically makes them a glass cannon, not having any magicka is a very bad thing indeed. Oh, there's a gentleman in here who we can talk to. Hello. Oh, he's a crazy man. Right, cool. We can't leave this man be. I mean, he's a perfectly innocent gentleman, but here's the thing. His body is made of experience. The combat has some similarities with Souls-like games, which is very fun. But of course, in my case, I'm just here to murder people. Less so actually interact with them. Hello there, here's another innocent civilian who we could technically leave alone, but I don't see the benefit. No, instead I can cast Mega Fireball. Ow! Okay, yeah, one unarmed punch, as you can see, basically took away 1/5 of my life. Yeah, damage in this game is going to be no joke. We are going to have to be a bit careful. Well, there's a casket here we can unlock, and of course, here we go. It's like Skyrim at home. We have the Skyrim lockpicking minigame. It's very good, lovely. Bunch of food ingredients lying around on the walls. And in sacks, who can forget putting ingredients in sacks? That's such a Skyrim thing. And oh yes, meat on sticks. Perfect. All right, there we go. I've grabbed all the gubbins I need. We can now begin wandering our way out of the prison. Oh my goodness, it's an undead zombie. Right, okay, hit it with a fireball. And another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. Okay, it's still got health. It's still got health. It's still coming. Oh, cool. There we go. We actually beat it. So I guess if we're fighting enemies one-on-one, that's not a problem. But, there's two enemies right there. There's no way we're going to be able to defeat them both. Okay, could all of you just gently stand together, as then I can hit you both with the same ball? There we go. It makes it much easier for me. Oh no, don't lunge at me. Oh, that was a lot of damage. Oh, and again. Luckily for us, I found some food so we can eat that. And yeah, my health is slowly regenerating. But you dastardly zombies, stay away. Please don't come any closer. Sir, please. I'm just going to have to slowly walk backwards. I'm very lucky that zombies are, of course, slow moving. Whoa, don't do that, sir. Thank you. And there we go. Whew, if they were any faster, then we would have a big problem. So yeah, that's a great demonstration of how we're basically always one sliver away from instant death. Now beneath us there are some enemies and they're having a little conversation with each other. I think there's about 3 of them in total. Now we could go down there and fight them, but you'll notice that as I'm moving around, I'm leveling up my sneak stat. That's because this game is rather similar to Skyrim in that by doing certain actions you'll be able to level them up. You'll notice that my magic is close to leveling up to 20, and each time it goes up I will do slightly more damage and it will reduce the actual cost of my spell casting. When it comes to sneaking, the higher the stat, it reduces the noise we generate and our visibility when we're crouching. But in order to generate this stat, all that needs to happen is we need to be close to the enemy and be moving. So that's quite interesting. For you see, the actual fastest way to level up sneak is not just to hold down your movement key. There is an initial rush of experience when you start and stop sneaking. This means that the best way to sneak is actually to very quickly press your forward key, then immediately take your finger off of it and repeat over and over again. Now, of course, a human being can't really set this up to be as efficient as possible with their biological hands, so that is why we want to use instead a macro recorder to press down the forward key, wait a few milliseconds and then press it down again, then follow it up with a backwards key press and repeat again. Then once you have your nice little loop set up, simply pop it down into one big macro and then just hold it down so that you can level up your sneak as fast as possible. So that is basically what we're doing here, and in doing so we're able to massively level up our sneak much faster than the game really intends us to. By doing this I can leave my PC alone and come back and I'll have massively leveled up my sneak. Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. After a little bit of time, we've now maxed out our sneak level. Yes, that's right. Very good indeed. This has meant that one measly is, for some reason now, the sneakiest being in this entire game's universe. Yeah, video games just work a bit differently. And using our stealth advantage, we're going to be able to do more damage to the enemies. Oh, look, there's an enemy in front of us. And they're starting to see us. Yep, they've only just detected me. Very good. So yes, our stealth is better, but still, we're not exactly a stealthy character. Realistically, in order to make the most of our sneak attribute, we would need to put some points into some attributes, which is something that I won't be doing because there are better things to put my skill points into, like breaking the magic system. One Measley isn't going to be overshadowed by some other wizards. No, he's going to be the greatest wizard of the land. Then and only then will his father be forced to love him. Oh, it's an alchemy table. Yay! Okay, alchemy in this game is pretty fun. You can gather ingredients to make potions, and then based on your alchemy skill, you could potentially make an even better potion than the one you've crafted. And by crafting a few potions, we've gained a decent amount of experience. Now I've finally made it to the room that I was sneaking above. Yes, I don't think these people have technically spotted us, so we can do a little sneak attack, which is pretty good. There we go. And then just do nice amounts of damage to the enemy. Unfortunately for the enemy here, I am crouched inside of a cave, and the enemy can't crouch. Yeah, it's one of those video games. So just like regular Skyrim, you can just cheese the pathfinding of any enemies you come up against in order to put yourself into an unkillable position. And there we go, just like that. There we go, everyone is dead. Now, by running around the starting area and doing some quests, we get our first few enchanted items. They're nothing too fancy, but we have a little ring that increases our mana and a ring that increases our health. Like I said, nothing too crazy, very much early game new player stuff. But hey, it's going to help us with our next fight, because in this fight, we're actually going up against a relatively powerful enemy. There's a little boss in this room. His name is the Frantic Berserker, and sure, we could fight him the normal way the developers intended, or alternatively, we can cheese him by standing up here on this rock, and then by casting Fireball down from above. Unfortunately, this man can't leave the room he's trapped in, and he also can't fight back. So, yeah, poor little guy is just gonna die. Oh no. Well, hey, at least we now get to steal all of his cool loot. Still, that's technically our first boss fight of the game complete, and we definitely did it in a fair and intended way. From here, it's not far until we get out of the prison, but on the way we meet a new friend, Arthur Pendragon, who's in some kind of weird spectral form. He says something dragonborn, something chosen one, but that's all the main story plot, and you don't have to worry about that. All you need to know is that he now lets us level up at a bonfire. So let's have a little chat with big old Arthur. And what I'm going to do is dump a point into spirituality. This is the tree that I love the most, because it gives us additional spell power. You can see that right now our spells do 106% damage, and with time we can make that significantly better. Now there is of course a huge skill tree in the game that allows you to basically play in any way, like going down an unarmed tree, maybe going for an entire shield build. In our case we're going down the spirituality tree as it's all focused on magic. The first perk I've gained is just something simple to give us 10 extra mana. It's nothing too fancy, but it's going to hopefully be quite useful. Anyway, we can now rest up and it's time for us to set sail for the mainland of Avalon, which is where the game truly begins. So basically, to cut a long story short, on our journey to Avalon, we get slightly shipwrecked and thrown off our course. So yes, it's classic Chosen One journey time. We wash up on the shore of an unknown land with basically no loot. We have only 102 gold to our name, which isn't exactly anything to get excited about. And this isn't exactly going to be a friendly part of the world. Now this game is quite beautiful indeed. They very much like using their lighting to make things quite atmospheric. However, you don't need to get distracted on the visuals because there's actually a large amount of enemies to fight, the worst of which is the Corpse Eater. Why? Well, it's because it has quite possibly a super stupid little hitbox that makes it an utter nightmare to actually land a shot on. It is just straight up not fun to fight these enemies, but hey, we did it, and it gave us some experience. And I'm gonna make my way over towards this mysterious looking island because, well, who doesn't like immediately getting distracted from the main quest to go on random side errands? Over here we find ourselves some drowners. I mean, I have wasted basically my entire magicka bar and hardly done any damage to them. So yeah, that should hopefully explain just how dangerous these enemies are, and I just accidentally dropped down into their domain. Run, 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 run. That was bad. That was very bad. His textures are going funky. That must mean he's fancy in some way. Okay, luckily for me they don't do much damage, but my goodness do they have a lot of health. Hey, don't bonk me. That is rude. Don't throw yourself at me either. No touchy. Right, we're just going to have to repeatedly hit them over and over again, very slowly. There we go. Fantastic. We bonked him on the head, and that's us actually at level 3. Lovely. Right, this is where the fun begins when it comes to game balance, because yes, we are once again going to level up, put another point in spirituality, and get 1% extra spell power. So if we continue at this rate, by the time we hit level 10, we'll have 110% spell power. Woo! That means our magical attacks will be doing 10% more damage. However, why wait for that when instead you can go into the spirituality tree and notice a mistake the developers made? You see, they included this perk here, the power and swiftness. Movement speed multiplier increases spell power by the same amount. Well, interestingly, the movement speed multiplier in the base game starts at 100%. Ah, right. So we now do twice as much damage because, well, we move at 100% speed. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Lovely. Oh, and I think there's an NPC here for us to deal with. Hello there.
Hey. Of course I'm human.
Oh yes, you're a merchant pretending to be a human being, aren't you? Now this lovely gentleman sells items, some of which we'd probably want. I mean, look at them. A nightshade charcoal relic. When applied to a weapon, it could increase sneak damage by 10%. Oh, that's pretty snazzy. Or an actual wand. Yes, it's an essence channeler. Unfortunately for me, that's 600 gold, and yeah, we definitely do not have that. He's a great merchant, but unfortunately we just can't afford his things. However, I'm sure if we come back at a future time, he'll still be here with some good stock. So there we go, we can now head towards a friendly little city. Oh my goodness, look at this, there's some humans here. Hello, humans.
Beat them up first. Ask questions.
Oh no, he's desperate peasant. They're bandits. Right, we're gonna kill them. We have to. I can't let filthy bandits live. Oh dear, these desperate peasants are running towards me. Luckily, I can hit them with a bunch of magic. There we go. And we did it. Poor, they'd have killed me like they did this poor little noble merchant here. Poor little guy. Oh, and here's drowners. Okay, drowners, still really, really hard to kill, my goodness. So there is another thing we can do to slightly cheese this. You'll notice that my armor says medium, that's because I'm wearing some heavy stuff. But if I were to instead wear incredibly light clothes like this nobleman's armor, and then pop on this silk hat, I'm now suddenly classed as lightweight. If we then go over to our attributes, you'll notice that my spell power has gone up. That's because my movement speed multiplier is even higher, because hey, when you're lightweight, of course you can run around even faster. So with that, we now do even more spell damage. But even so, drowners are hard to kill. Maybe they're just naturally resistant to fire magic? That would make sense. Let me try blood magic instead. Oh, blood magic is the solution. Blood magic is really the solution. You know what, I'm feeling actually significantly powerful. Let's go deal with some of these enemies here. There we go, that's another 140 experience. And again. But hey, we've made it to the settlement of the Horns of the South, a little fortressy bastion place which is watched over by the Keepers, a kind of knightly order of peacekeepers. This will be a safe space for us to do some trading and also some sleeping. Now, although we've just got to the safety of this town, we're not staying here long, because we're after the most overpowered spell in the game, and to get it, we're going to need to start a quest in the next town over. Now, in order to get our overpowered spell, all you need to do is make your way over to the fishing village here and feed this man here a huge amount of alcohol until he eventually tells you about some secret tunnels. Then we need to secure permission to enter said secret tunnels, which means we need to go back up to the castle and speak to the person who is currently in charge of running everything. This fine gentleman over here. So there we go, we've now been given permission to explore and we have the key to the dungeon. From here we can now enter the crypt and hopefully find a lovely overpowered spell. Right, it is relatively spooky in here. It definitely is very, very abandoned. Apparently there was a plague in here one day and everything had to get sealed off. And well, I guess they left a lot of dead bodies behind. Luckily for me, I can make myself a large amount of mana potions in case we have ourselves a boss fight. Alright, so onwards into the dungeon we go. Oh, there's undeads all around me. Quick, flee! Hello there, dastardly undead. Yes, I know. Normally, you'd be incredibly difficult to kill, but luckily for me, I have improved my skills since we last fought. Alright, so with the first floor cleared out, we've now got the second floor of enemies to deal with. At least I presume there's enemies in here. I haven't found any. Where's my loot? I know there's a good spell in here somewhere. Alright, after fighting a bunch of these undead, my magicka is starting to climb up quite nicely, which is very good. Not that we particularly have to worry too much about them. Ow, ow, I say that. You literally just hit me. That's very mean of you. Alright, so I think we've dealt with pretty much all the monsters in this dungeon. The one thing we're just looking for is through this direction, which is looking lovely and evil and foreboding, and yep, that looks like a boss fight to me, with what I can only describe to be the cutest looking boy in the universe. It's Crockmore, ladies and gents. Hello, Crockmore. I love your vibe. Unfortunately, sir, I am a wizard of sorts, and you are dead. So there we go, that's the end of Crockmore. Nice little guy. He really tried his best, but unfortunately he has been evaporated. And behind him I can find the Ring of Protection, nice. And a locked chest, good. And inside the locked chest, no, I find Spinebreaker. This isn't what I wanted. Oh no, I just realized I've been doing the wrong quest the whole time. Okay, that's me. That's classic me, isn't it? Still, technically that is a quest completed, and we should get a pretty nice reward for clearing out their dungeon. So what is it, Mr. Quartermaster? What have you got for me? Your tunnels are safe now, and that's not an innuendo for a colonoscopy.
You actually did it?
And there we go. With that, we gained a large amount of experience and a weapon called the Trial of Death. Killing an enemy provides a stackable 20% damage increase for 5 seconds. I mean, I can see how that could very rapidly get out of hand. Yeah, we're staying as a pure mage. I don't care that this game was designed for Souls-like combat, where you're doing your dodge rolls and your big hits. No, I am one Beasley, and I will evaporate everything I see. Anyway, here we go. We get to level up 3 times, so that's 3 more points into spirituality, taking our maximum mana up to 92, and our spell power up to 243. Then we have some attribute points to spend. We could be smart about this, or alternatively, we could just sink all 3 points into gaining an additional 30% spell power. Yes, the glass cannon build will just keep increasing. And so just like that, our spell power is now 273%. This means that our spell does 14 damage rather than the 5 it's meant to be doing. Oh, Shrine of the Deer. Give antler fragments, get movement speed multiplier. Deer Shrine, you're exactly what I need. Alright, time for me to run off into the woods so I can kill some nature, get some antlers, and then pray to the deer gods. But what I want is this deer. There we go. I got him. Lovely. With that antler fragment. That's the good stuff. Come on, I just need another one. Mr. Deer, can you come back to me? I genuinely thought that right there was a deer, but it's just a piece of skin. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Presumably, I can just find some in the wilderness. Now, the sun is setting, and when the sun sets, the world gets significantly more dangerous. New kinds of enemies come out the ground, and the world is not exactly a safe and cozy place. What on earth are you, piggies? Come here, piggies. I don't like the way they cry out, but hey, your bodies are made of experience, I'm sorry. Okay, it's dark, so things are getting extra spooky. But yes, there is a deer. Right, let's get it. Yeah, let's go. Deer fragment. I need one more. One more deer. Something spawned in there. That didn't seem friendly to me. We're not going into that direction of the wilderness anymore. No, let's pick a different direction. Is that a bear? I mean, is this one of those games where bears aren't dangerous, or is it one of those games where bears are very dangerous? I always have a hard time telling. Anyway, right, let's hit it with fire. Okay, considering how much damage I'm doing, this is a very dangerous bear game. This is an immensely dangerous bear game. Oh, no, he got me. And then I'm hoping in this direction I can find some deer. Please, deer. What's that? Those are wolves? It's not quite what I'm looking for. And then this direction, is there a deer? No, it's another wolf. Okay, what about in this direction? Is it... it's another wolf. Right, and fantastic. I've murdered enough of the local wildlife to collect my antlers, and now I can pray at the Shrine of the Deer. Here, take 3 antler fragments and give me my movement speed modifier. Huzzah! Yes, he glows with happiness. Good, so what do I get? Let me check my attributes. Oh, well, my movement speed multiplier is up to 133%, so I think about 10% is what we gained. And the consequential benefit of that is my spell power is now almost up to 300%. In fact, as we've got a level up ready, I think we can push push it over the edge. So yep, let me put down a little bonfire, press level up, put another point into spirituality. There we go. That's 298% we're now at. Now we have another point to put into our skill tree, but I've kind of gone for all of the easy options for spell power already. Well, I think from here on out, we might also improve our critical damage. By going down this tree here, we can eventually get to Swift and Fierce, whereby landing a critical hit will increase our movement speed, which will of course increase our damage. So that's exactly what we're going to head towards. We now currently have a 6% critical hit chance, which is very nice indeed. And we're more powerful than ever, which is great because now I feel confident enough to head off in this direction to complete the last voyage quest. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am back beneath this statue of a one-handed gentleman. Yes, I have made my way to the northern side of the island, and over here is the quest of the last voyage. Now, this is the area that should actually have the spell that I'm looking for. In order to get here, I have murdered quite a large amount of different bandits, and even picked up some cool, snazzy new loot. Take, for example, my brand new spell, Winter's Crone's Wrath. It is an ice spell. It costs a decent amount of mana to actually cast, but it does decent damage, with its main downside being that it's wildly inaccurate. But still, I can shoot an enemy with it, and they get frozen, which is very effective indeed. Alright, what about you? Right, full charge up attack, wha-bam! They just died in one hit. These are drowners. I remember how many shots it used to take me to defeat them, but no, look at me now. Alright, and so in this cave somewhere, I should be able to find myself what I'm looking for. Oh, there's another one there. And that's another one hit. I mean, these are still relatively basic enemies, but even then, our power level has increased significantly. Oh, and here we go, a locked chest. Perhaps you have what I'm looking for. There we go, one little mini-game later, and we have Merlin's Fawn. This is the spell I'm looking for. This is very, very broken indeed. This spell, unlike our previous ones, has a much higher base damage. However, you must remember that all of our damage is being multiplied by quite a large amount. This means that Merlin's Fawn goes from doing 48 to 56 damage to instead doing between 139 and 162. Yes, it costs significantly more, but it's going to be very jazzy indeed. I just need to find an enemy to shoot this into. Oh dear, there's a boss coming. But yes, one of the other advantages of this spell is that it actually shoots homing projectiles. Scourge of the Seas, right, go with my missile attack. Ooh, you're pretty powerful and dangerous. Unfortunately for you, sir, I can fire these little ice missiles off and you're dead. Well, that's it. Cool. We get Tide Piercer. Yeah, we don't need that. Instead, we have ice magic. That is good. Now that is meant to be an incredibly challenging fight, but no, we're a very powerful being indeed. Now with our new aim-hacking super spell unlocked, we have several other tasks that we must achieve before we can truly say we've broken the game. Now as I mentioned, of course, we can buy things from merchants, but we're incredibly poor. But don't worry, ladies and gents, because I am a dastardly British individual, and that means, of course, I've managed to find myself an infinite money exploit inside of this video game. So yes, we're going to be making our way over to a lovely little village and taking a very dubious quest indeed. But first, I mean, we should test out our new spell on a regular enemy, not just some kind of boss fight. There's a bear. Hello there, Mr. Bear. Yeet. 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 Poor Mr. Bear. Right, I think it's finally time for us to start the quest that we can exploit to get us infinite gold. So here we are now back at the village, and inside of Ron's tavern we're going to be able to find a very posh noble lady who's a little bit crazy. Basically, her and her husband are visiting from the capital city of Camelot, and she quite likes the area and wants us to clear the bandits out of a local abandoned manor house so that she can set up shop there. As I'm on my way over to the mansion, there is a place I like to stop off first. That is this weird little archway in the sea. The reasoning is very simple. It has one NPC staying here, a slightly weird and magical gentleman who you meet in the prologue who refuses to escape the prison. You can then meet him again here. He appears to kind of be a little bit of a godlike entity, and consequently you can't kill him. And that's where we run into a little bit of a problem. For you see that because his health pool is infinite, that means we can actually farm him for experience. Certain skills, of course, are improved by being in proximity to other people. For example, we could train our sneak by walking into the rock here, or we could train our magic. Now you level up magic by doing magic damage, so by simply shooting poor Hob here over and over again, we can, of course, improve our magical stats. Now I can use my lovely little ice spike here to consequently hit Hob over and over again. As you can see, he can't take damage, but every time I do this, I gain a nice little bit of magic experience. And of course, for each point in magic we have, it increases the damage we do and reduces our cost of spellcasting, basically meaning that the very overpowered Merlin's Fawn doesn't cost us quite so much to cast. Now, of course, you can farm an essential NPC over and over again to achieve your 100 stat, but I think Hob is a cute character, and I would never abuse the elderly. There's no evidence that I would do such a thing. I've never done it before inside of a video game. Don't know what you're on about, so I'm going to reload a save where I didn't punch him to death. I do genuinely love that. For me, finding exploits in video games is so easy, mostly because developers make the same exploits over and over again in every video game. I don't know why every game has essential NPCs that you can train your stats on, but that's basically a character trait in all RPGs. Ooh, and whilst scavenging around, I've actually found an incredibly powerful spell. This is the Hailstone. Now, whilst it's definitely not as high damage as our main spell, what it does allow us to do is freeze enemies. Freezing enemies in this game is horrifically overpowered. Alright, so let me demonstrate my new ice spell. So as you can see, I can hit this undead enemy here, and well, he died. Okay, so that wasn't a good demonstration. How about this boy? I can charge it up, hit you once more, and again, oh, you died. Okay, right. I can't demonstrate how overpowered ice magic is if everyone dies before I can use it. Yeah, I'm starting to see a problem here. Oh, well, at this mansion, we'll probably be able to find someone who can actually take a beating. And this is it. Lovely. We found the mansion by the beach. So here we are at the fancy swanky place. We've got some archers, we've got some enemies, and most importantly, I can do frost damage. So yes, I'm just going to repeatedly hit the archer with a frost spell until he is frozen. And I've missed all of my shots. I'm running away instead. Okay, hello there, you. Yes, this is more like it. Yes, these men actually have heavy amounts of armor, which makes them annoying to kill. However, this gentleman in front of me, I have just frozen, and whilst frozen, he can't do anything. He's simply stuck on the ground, unable to fight. As you can imagine, wait, where are you going, sir? Sir, come back, I'm trying to use you as an explanation. Oh, and you, sir, you're meant to be on the ground. Right, there we go, easy fighting. But yes, frost in this game is a little bit ridiculous, because it just stalls all forms of combat out by allowing you to keep someone lying down on the floor and able to retaliate. Or in the case of this gentleman, sniffing your own bottom, I guess. So anyway, we clear through the rest of the bandits and Alyssa finally moves in. However, we can't quite get our infinite gold yet.
There you are, finally.
Alyssa!
Searching. My Duncan has gone missing.
Poor Duncan's gone missing.
Soon, he might be in grave danger.
Oh no!
You have to find him.
Of course, Alyssa.
I can't possibly be a widow at my age.
Yes, I know.
Mourning clothes are dreadfully unflattering.
I do love how annoying she is. She's fantastic. Anyway, I'll go find Duncan for you.
Marvelous.
So we've got to go make our way over to save Duncan from his kidnappers. On my way to be a hero. Right, and yes, down in this cave over here, we have a zombie that is guarding the door, but inside are the miners' tunnels, where we will probably find poor Duncan being held captive for ransom. Yes, oh no, he's just sat here. Duncan, why are you just sat here? You're meant to be held captive. So yes, the big reveal is that he basically just ran away because he's fed up with his wife. Not because she's done anything wrong, she's just really annoying apparently, and he doesn't want to live in the south. He even cut off his finger to try and make the capture a little bit more convincing. So yes, we're gonna have to say that he's dead and his body was eaten. There we go. But I'm going to say I don't really like lying to people. I expect reimbursement for moral damages. Yes.
Come on.
So there we go. We even get some money. Isn't that great? 250 gold and a ring to prove that he's died. Okay, I was making my way back to the mansion to get this exploit going, and I just want you to draw your attention to the right-hand side of the screen where there is a gentleman that I killed using my ice attack, and he is, just gone? Okay, no, there he goes. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's going. He's still with us. He's just not quite ready for death, I guess. What about you? Are you ready for death? Yeah, you're fine with death, but the other guy, well, I mean, I was gonna loot his body, but I guess it was never meant to be. Oh, He's coming back. He's not quite done with this world. I can still. It's like he's with us. There's his body. I got 2 gold from him. Come back, sir. You've got other stuff on you. I want. Oh dear, this game is so funny. Oh, it's so silly. Right, so in the seaside mansion, we now need to lie to Alyssa and tell her that her husband is dead.
Well?
So we say, I'm sorry, but your husband is dead.
And-
I know. There was only a finger
God.
left. I know.
That's dreadful.
Yes, it was
Could
terrible.
This is a nightmare.
Anyway, she now offers to sell the house to us. Of course, an entire house is worth a lot more than 500 gold, but she's a naive rich person, so she doesn't quite understand that. So yes, you could scam her for this very, very nice property and be able to use it, but actually, in order to secure infinite money, what you want to do is say that no, you don't need to sell your house. Why can't you just stay here? From here, we just need to give her a few materials to help her set up shop, which I have already gathered from exploring the world, but we do have to wait a whole day in between giving her each resource, and once everything is delivered, we can finally start the exploit. For you see, there is a infinite logic loop in the game that breaks this NPC. By doing this quest, Alyssa then gives us an item. We can say that, hey, is this a courting gift? And then what happens is after accepting that gift, she gives us 3 brand new items, which we can check out. The Always Accessorized Darling, which is an amulet that increases our health regeneration and our maximum health. A Fetching Yet Practical Adornment, which is an armor relic that increases mana regeneration. And the Fashionable Doublet, a very swanky piece of armor that increases your attack speed. All of these items are worth at least a few hundred gold. However, something strange happens when we speak to her again. She says the exact same dialogue, and we can just go through the exact same dialogue options, and we're given, oh yes, the crest rewards a second time. I can see that, yes, I do indeed have 2 fashionable doublets I can wear. Video game developers, this seems mightily suspicious. Can I do this over and over again? The answer is, of course, yes. I can just repeatedly spam these options over and over again, and each time the game will deposit the items that I have earned into my inventory. Now, one of the funny things is, in order to actually pull off this loop, you have to actually fail all of the romance checks with Alyssa here, because if for some reason she does actually decide that she has romantic feelings for you, then she'll only give you this award once. But by getting friend-zoned, oh no, we can endlessly farm her for clothes in a way that would put Chinese sweatshops to shame. Right, so I've finally hit almost the maximum encumbrance I can manage, and so I think it's time that I take what I've gained here and find a lovely merchant to sell it to. Now, one thing that the developers of this game did that Todd was too scared of was making sure that merchants had an infinite supply of money. Yes, in Skyrim, Todd tries to limit you. Oh, game crash, game crash, game crash, game crash. Game crash. There you go. It's a game crash. This is like the third of the recording. That makes it even more like Skyrim in my books. Right, I'm back. The game has now uncrashed itself, and I have made my way over to the castle where I can finally speak to a merchant. Hello, Orleif. Orleif, I have something for you. Yes, I noticed that you don't have a merchant's amount of gold, which means I can sell everything. Yes, all of these lovely little accessories I have that are worth 150 gold. I can sell all of them. There we go. Let's just get rid of them. Oh my goodness, I've got a lot. And you'll notice in the top right, my money is just going up and up and up and up. Very good indeed. Spear of an Ancient Hero, I can get rid of that too. I'm never going to use a spear. And then we've got all these fashionable doublets we can get rid of. Lovely. We now have over 10,000 gold. Splendid. And then finally, oh yes, a large quantity of fetching yet practical adornments. Well, we might as well sell probably about 40 of them. There we go, that's 3,000 gold. Perfect. So we've done a great job. We've now got 18,000 gold. We're more powerful than ever before, and we can buy whatever we like. Alright, I'm back. We've managed to secure ourselves a near infinite amount of money, which is wonderful. But of course, what do you do when you have all the money in the world? Well, of course, you can go off and you can trade with all of the artifact merchants. Isn't that exciting? And you can probably get some really cool loot from them. Or alternatively, you can play smart. For you see, you might remember the OG merchant from the start of the game. Our lovely friend, who 100% is most definitely a human. Well, if we can defeat all of the drowned drowners standing around him, we can get back to our good old lovely merchant friend, Okuin Cinnamon Sage. Definitely 100% a real human being.
It's a lovely day.
Yes, we're their favorite human.
Favorite human.
Oh, I love this
What
chap.
can I-
So yes, we can trade with him. Now, he does sell some pretty unique and snazzy items. You might be saying, hey Spiff, go get yourself an essence channeler. It's an awesome wand. And to those of you, I say, yes, it is. However, I'm actually here to buy all of these ingredients. They cost large amounts of money, but most of them allow me to craft horrifically overpowered mana potions.
Done already?
And there we go, we have now collected a stupendous quantity of ingredients from this merchant. With this, we can now power level up our alchemy skill even further beyond. So I've made my way over to the alchemist, Mr. Yan in the castle. He's pretty swanky. We can buy things from him, like the recipes for overpowered ingredients. I mean, check out the plentiful resource potion. It just locks your mana at 100% for 10 seconds. You can cast whatever spells you like in that time. So yes, we'll buy all of his lovely spells and all of his crafting ingredients. There we go, fantastic. And so now, after learning all of those spells, we can create some pretty snazzy things. Look at this plentiful resource potion. Why not? I'll make you lovely. We'll just keep crafting all of these horrifically overpowered alchemy concoctions. Okay, and there we go. I've done a copious amount of crafting and massively leveled up my alchemy skill, which is very jazzy indeed. And now I do believe we're ready for basically any insane boss battle that comes our way. The one in particular I'm aiming for is an evil bandit located up in this direction. He is most definitely one of the most difficult enemies we can actually fight in a one-on-one duel. Here is our final test of strength, a high-level bandit boss and one of the most difficult enemies in the game. But before we fight him, let me show you how the developers intended for this fight to be played. For you see, I have in my possession a lovely origin potion, a potion that I can consume to reset all of my skill points and stats. So there we go, I've just reset everything. I can now level on up and we can basically rebuild our entire character. What we're going to do here is build a very standard warrior, a nice balance of strength, endurance, and dexterity. You know, the kind of character you'd be playing as if this was Dark Souls or something. We've got him using the honorary blade with the waning ward, so that he's a proper sword and boarded knight. I mean, just look at one measly. He is looking very snazzy indeed. Oh yes, pop on photo mode, and this is like Dark Souls. Yep, this just looks like the John Dark Souls ready to soul and dark or whatever you do in that game. I don't know. It's probably got a story or something. All right, so I've got my shield, I've got my sword. This is it, ladies and gents. We have ourselves an evil monster. You there, peasant, Bromar No Face. I am here to fight you. And you're here to fight me. So, yep, let me block with one hit, and you've taken off half my health, and for 2 hits I'm dead. Okay, was actually insanely difficult. I was expecting... I mean, this is like unique and rare armor I'm wearing. This isn't like useless gubbins. He just evaporated me. Okay, let's give this another go. I've got this little thing I can apply to my weapon so that it deals bleed damage. I can eat some food, and I've got my health potion equipped. Let's go. I'm going to activate my special that slows down time. There we go. With this, I can dodge. I can dodge. Lovely. Now we swing. He's somehow done damage to me. My goodness. Right, dodge. There we go. We dodge his attack. I'm really low on stamina now, though. Hey, don't you swing at me. Don't you swing at me. Oh my goodness, he is so bloody No, oh my goodness, it's low. It's low. Block. Block does nothing. Okay, yeah, it turns out sword and shield, it's a difficult way to play the game. You've got to dodge every attack. You've got to dodge roll like Dark Souls. Let's instead compare it to my magic character. Right, so we're about to do this exact same fight, except I'm going to be cheesing it using the lovely Hailstone spell. This is, of course, the Freezy Frostbite spell that we saw earlier. So I'm just going to get it equipped, along with my potion that locks my mana at 100%. I'm going to crouch on down, sneak my way up nice and close, and then hit him again. There we go. Right, I'll take the potion that allows me to do damage, and you'll notice that he is unable to move. This is because I am endlessly freezing him in place, and of course, I am never running out of mana. So yes, Bromar No Face here never even gets to get close. So there we go. That's the game. Right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's pretty clear that I've turned one Weasley into actually an incredibly powerful hero. He is no longer the measly boy we started with. No, he is incredibly powerful. That's a bug. Every time this game. Right, that's it. I'm going to do the outro like this. If you want to see more of this game that is legally not Skyrim, then let me know down in the comments section, and I'm sure we'll be able to make a return to it when the game eventually comes out for release. For developers, if you're watching, I hope you have a wonderful time fixing some of these bugs, and I'm sure you'll understand that I haven't shown off all of them today, because I'm excited to mess about with them when this game actually releases. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Goodbye, you majestic sausages. Have a wonderful day.